Oh, hello everyone. Welcome to the very first Whiskey Chaser live stream. My name is Chase. This is my channel where I do motorcycle stuff. I do motorcycle related content all over the great state of New York. If this is your first time here, please consider giving this channel a sub because as you can see right down below, we are 3 away from the big 400. So please, yes, do that if you are new here. If you are not new here, if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much, guys. I love you so much. It is wonderful to be here on the very first live stream. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and we'll see how this goes. Please bear with me, as this is a very delicate test run. I tried to get Twitch up and running, but I was not able to, so if you were planning on watching on Twitch, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. But we are live on YouTube, so you can, watch there. All right. So, as a very first guest of the Whiskey Chaser live show, I would like to introduce to you a man who is an incredible photographer. He is somebody who I met on my travels across the entire eastern part of the United States, and very nice. He reached out to me, told me to come out and grab a beer and take some pictures, and it was a lot of fun. I had a great time that night whenever I went out, and so here he is, man of the hour. This is Clint, otherwise known as Some Ohio Guy.
How's it going?
It's going great, man. How are you?
Doing good, man. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, man.
I was gonna say thanks for having me as your inaugural guest. I feel like I have a lot of pressure.
Hey, man. It's no pressure at all. You gave me a lot of pressure whenever you made me go and take random pictures out in the middle of a construction zone. So,
yeah, that's definitely that'll happen. You hang out with me long enough, I'll take pictures of you and all sorts of weird places. So,
yeah, it was. I mean, weird pictures are definitely your style, which is, it's awesome. I love it. I actually, whenever I first saw your pictures, I literally was like, oh my God, this is exactly the kind of style that I like in my pictures. Whenever I do my thumbnails and stuff like that, I very similarly go through and do the color balance and edits kind of like what you do. And so I was very drawn to them, and I thought they were great. So glad that we got to meet, and glad that I got to come through. That was what's today, the 13th? So that was about 6 weeks ago that I rolled.
Really?
Through. I can't believe it's been that long. Can you believe it's been 6 weeks since I made my way across the entire eastern part of the U.S.
Honestly, you could have told me that was like a year ago, and I'd be like, yeah, that was a year ago.
Dude, it's been wild. I can't believe it's just time has no meaning right now. Like even though we're starting to get back to what we were getting into, it's still just. It's crazy. So
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm glad that you lifted that up, because I was about to ask what are we drinking?
Actually, I'm drinking a hard seltzer. That's kind of it's kind of primarily what I drink. It's called Fruit Smash, and it is by New Belgium. It is one of the best seltzers I've ever had. Yeah, they have 3 different flavors. So delicious, very natural flavoring, natural tasting. Yeah, I'd recommend it highly.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I love some good seltzers. Whenever I was in Austin, is when Austin East ciders started becoming really, 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 really big, and so it started to branch that whole aspect of the ciders and then the seltzers and then all this stuff, whatever. Parker, my girlfriend, was drinking White Claws before anybody knew what White Claw was, and she loved those things. And it kind of sucks, because I always thought it was a really good idea, and I was like, man, I really should look at maybe throwing a couple bucks into this. And then 3 years later, they exploded onto the market, and everybody has seltzers now, and it's just wild. So
yeah, a buddy of mine, we're talking about going to a hard seltzer festival, because they have beer fests. They're actually going to have they're going to do a seltzer fest locally here.
Absolutely, so. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. So it'll be a good time.
Awesome, man. Well, I went out and got a brand new bottle of whiskey just for this. So this is,
I'm like,
look at this.
I'm like, here's my seltzer, and you're like, here's my bottle of whiskey.
Here's my giant bottle of whiskey. Well, I always go out and get the big one because I'm gonna drink it anyway. You know, like may as well.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
Yeah. So, cheers, man.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, Clinks.
Clink.
Thanks for being here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love some good whiskey, but yeah, it's a school night for me, so I'm taking it easy with the seltzers.
Hey, I totally get it. Normally, just like when I'm around home, I drink like Coors Light or something like that, just because it's easy. It doesn't give you too bad of a hangover the next day unless you drink like 50 of them. So,
you
don't have to worry about it too much. All right, so, Clint, you are a motorcycle rider. That is how we kind of got to know each other. So, how long have you been riding for?
I actually have not been riding for too long. Probably like about 6 years total.
That's a long time. 6 years is a long time.
Well, I always say that because like I know so many people that have like ridden like their whole life, and it's like I don't know, maybe I feel like I have a little bit of like a imposter syndrome when it comes to like my motorcycle riding. But it's something I wanted to pick up a new like skill, and like I wanted to learn it, and I went in and I did the training, the motorcycle training course locally here. I know a lot of people like they're like, oh, I'm gonna get a motorcycle, I'm gonna ride a motorcycle. They run out and buy a bike and they just wreck it.
Oh yeah,
I had a couple friends that did that.
Yeah.
And honestly, if anybody that's watching or listening or whatever has done that, hey, that's fine. Each your own. Hopefully,
I mean, that they say it's like it's not if you go down, it's when you go down. Everybody goes down.
Yes. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? If I'm going to get into it, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to, well, at least the way that I thought was right, and I'm going to learn how to do it. I'm going to, go through the certification and all that stuff, and I did. I fell in love with it. Then I went out and bought my first bike, which was a little cafe racer made by a company called Cleveland Cycle Works. And
they actually like made the bike, or like it was,
yes,
they just built it.
It's made by a company called Cleveland Cycle Works, and it's kind of based off of a Honda like chassis, and they kind of customize it to make it look more like a cafe racer. But it was a great little bike. I loved it.
How big was that?
It was only a 250.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, no, there definitely is not. No, there definitely is not. But I'm like almost 6'3", like about 240. We're not going to like, weigh or measure me or anything. But I definitely was. I looked a little bit like a circus bear on that thing.
Yeah, like Shade Tree says, monkey fucking a football.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like it was great. It was a great bike. Like I loved it. If you go back on my Instagram far enough, you can see some pictures of it. But it was good. It was a good ride. And then I ended up selling that, and I eventually got my Sportster, which I loved, and like that was kind of my introduction to like the Harley brand and everything. And
right, as most people get introduced to the Harley brand.
Yeah, and you hear everybody saying like, oh, Sportsters are like girls' bikes or they're underpowered. I was like, no, like I don't know if mine, like I had a blast on that thing. I never once felt like that bike was like underpowered at all.
What model was it?
It was just the 883, and it was a 2017 Iron 883.
Oh, okay. Cool, Iron 883, yeah.
Yeah, so didn't have the 1200 in it, but it's still like I had zero issues getting that thing up to speeds that I will not mention. So yeah,
we all go to Mexico, we all have fun, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of segue, I guess, you know, like that bike was great. Definitely could not go down to Mexico. It was not it was definitely not a long distance cruiser. And
Well,
that's kind
Tim,
of,
I don't know if
yeah.
you know Tim, but Tim rode to Florida and back on his Sportster from Arkansas, I think, something like that. It was a long way, long way.
Yeah. The longest
Yeah,
trip I rode on that thing was from Columbus to Louisville, Kentucky. And I mean, that was about, I think it was like 300 some miles, like one
oh
way.
yeah, that's far though.
So yeah, yeah, on the Sportster, yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
But yeah, I wanted to get a feel for it on like a longer trip, and yeah, that's when I was like, yeah, this bike is great. It looked great. It was a beautiful bike, but it definitely was not meant for what I was using it for, which
right,
was or what I want to use a bike for, which is longer trips, and I want to be able to carry a bunch of stuff, carry my like photography equipment, carry my video equipment, and all that fun stuff. Which kind of led me into my current bike that I have, which is the Pan America.
yeah.
So and
2021 Pan American.
yeah, yeah, and that thing is a beast.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I've gotten about almost 750 miles on it. I've had it for a couple weeks. I'm scheduled my first 1K servicing on it, and I honestly I haven't had any issues with it. I'm in a couple of owners groups. There's a couple of known issues that people keep having with them.
oh
But
really? I haven't heard
luckily,
anything, but good to
yeah,
know.
it's nothing too major. There's like a couple like weird little design things where the radiator hose gets like it's really close the way they built it. It's awkwardly close to the exhaust, and so sometimes it like can overheat and
Oh
it
yeah,
like melts the it melts
melts
like
the
some of
hose.
the
Yeah,
yeah.
pops a hose.
And so I've seen a lot of people like frustrated with that, but it hasn't really been an issue for me. So I've been keeping an eye on it, and yeah, I haven't seen any type of wear or tear on it.
Well, that's
From that
awesome. I'm sure that's
aspect.
something that they probably will be checking
Yeah,
in the service as well, just to make sure. So,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
so yeah, other than the radiator hose problems, how is the bike? How's riding the bike? How is the power? How is the feel? Everything
Yeah.
like that. Explain to. I mean, we're all curious to know. So,
Well, it's definitely the smoothest Harley I've ridden. I've ridden a few, but it's definitely like just a super super smooth ride.
yeah,
You
even
know,
with 150 horsepower,
yep. Oh yeah.
it's
Yeah, and
crazy.
it's it has different ride modes on it, and I've taken it upon myself because it is in the break-in period not to put it in sport mode yet. I've
Right.
I've only been putting in like the typical ride mode, but even in the normal mode, like it has some get up and go. Like it will take off from underneath you for sure.
Yeah. So, what does it have like sport, like standard, and then like rain or something?
Yes, yeah, it has rain,
Yeah.
and then it has like an off-road mode. And because
Okay.
I got the special, there's three other customizable modes that you can kind of customize
Oh,
to
that's cool.
your riding style. Yeah, it's very it's unlike any other Harley that has ever been made. Obviously,
Oh,
because
for
there's so much
sure.
tech in it. There's the
Yeah.
new engine. You got that Revolution Max engine. It's just like insane. And I love it. Like the only downside I have for it at this moment is it sounds like a sewing machine.
Oh, for
Um,
sure. But you know what though? I rode on the 2021 demo day. I went up and I rode the Street Bob, and I
mhm.
rode the Lowrider S.
Yeah,
They sound exactly the same. They have these giant, huge pipes on them, but
yeah,
they just all you hear is the stator just going,
yeah,
and you can barely even hear anything coming out of the exhaust. It sounds like
yeah.
a Toyota Camry, you know?
Yep.
Like it just there's no like it's all engine sound, there's no muffler sound, which I thought was really
Yeah,
weird because that's one of the things you think about when you think about Harley Davidson, of course, is like the quintessential thump and pop of that exhaust. So,
yeah.
um,
I saw the best meme the other day. It said, "If you ever feel useless, just just know that there's someone putting factory exhaust on a Harley.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like that's the first thing that goes when people customize their Harleys is gotta get that Harley thump going.
Yeah. Well, you know what's crazy is my Sportster. It's a '05 883 XL Custom that I've had for about 5 years now. I still have the stock exhaust on there, but people ask me what exhaust it is all the time.
Oh wow.
Which is so strange. Like I'll be riding, they're like, "Oh yeah, what exhaust is that? What exhaust?" I'm like, "Dude, that's factory." Just because
Okay.
it's so loud. I don't know why. I don't know why that. I think it was that '04 to '06 model. They just kind of, because it's such a strange year for that Sportster, because they just did so many weird things to it. They switched up to the rubber mounts, they switched the gas tank, they put that weird big riser on it, like they had the big 21-inch front wheel. Like it's just a different bike, and it's cool, but it's different.
Yeah.
So speaking of the Revolution Max motor, today the 13th was the 2021 Sportster S revealed with the Revolution Max motor in it. 121 horsepower, 90 foot-pounds of torque, 9,500 RPMs. Crazy. And it's the same engine that you have in the Pan America.
That sounds about right. If it's going to have having that engine in it, and I think it said it was like the wet weight is like almost 500 pounds. Like,
it's 502 pounds.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like that thing's gonna fly. Like that thing is gonna.
It's gonna scream.
I mean that the weight I think is very similar to my Pan America. And just knowing like the engine in that and what it has and what it can do, like. Yeah, people are going to be going nuts on that thing, like for sure. And
yeah. So the Pan America, is that because I knew that they were coming out with this like frameless technology thing where they're using the engine and transmission as the frame? Is the Pan America that way?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it has.
So that's what contributes to the lightweight. Part of the bike.
Yeah. It's I think it's about that weight, if I'm not mistaken. It's fairly lightweight, but it is much larger. Everything on it is, because again, going from that 883 to the Pan America, I was a little hunched over whenever I was riding my 883. But this one, like, I can stand up on it and like do everything on it. It's amazing.
Do you flat foot it?
Yeah. If I'm at a stop and I don't have the adaptive ride height on it, that's and a lot of people get that. A lot of people think that because it's a special, it automatically comes with that, but that is, even with a special, it is a additional cost. There's some additional cost to that. So I figured with my height and everything, it really wasn't something I needed. And I've always felt, again, within my 750 miles of riding it, I haven't felt uncomfortable at a stop or coming to a stop with the height at where it's at.
Well, real quick, I just wanted to, because we are on our first live here, shout out some people here. So Freaking Rican, Country Coder, Ty on Two Wheels, Toby Northern, Ricky Bobber, I saw him earlier, Cog in the Wheel. Thanks you guys all so much. 9 Mills, I see you in there. Thanks you guys all so much for being here. I really, really, really appreciate it. All you guys showing up to this first stream. So I just wanted to give a shout out to those guys.
That was awesome.
Cheers to all you.
So wait, so it's not just us? Like it's I thought it was just the two of us just shooting the shit.
For a second I thought it might just be us for a second.
That's all good, man.
All right, so obviously you have a passion for photography. It is what you want to do in life. And
that's one way of putting it. Yes.
Yeah. So like what how did you get started in it? What's like your motivation? Like who got you into it? Anything like that? If somebody got you into it.
Sure. No. Yeah. I'm happy to talk about it. So like I been a graphic designer. I've been in the design marketing field for over 11 years now. And with my current job, I've been able to I've had the opportunity to get more into photography. It's always been something I've loved and wanted to do, but I've just never really had the opportunity to do it on a professional level. I would do a lot of event photography. I would do like headshots and stuff for the company I work for, and it kind of like it sparked something in me to like dive further into it and get more into it.
Okay.
So I guess this is a little bit of a story.
No, hey, tell your story, man. This is your platform.
Hey. So when 2020 hit and the pandemic shut everything down, I had my bike. I purchased. That's when I had my Sportster, and I was like, well, I got my bike, and all my event photography I'm not doing anymore, like events, but I still wanted to kind of stay up to par with up to stuff with my photography skills, and I was like, well, I guess I could combine the two, and that's when I decided to like merge my love of motorcycle riding and photography, and that's like really where my whole like Instagram started to like take off is after I found my niche, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, and I was like, you know what, like there's nothing else to do, there's nothing else going on, nothing's open, but there's one thing I can do is I can ride around and I can find cool spots to take photos, and
which you are fantastic at.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it, man.
I think it has to do with my training as a graphic designer, just having an eye for composition, that kind of lends itself into composing a really nice photo, or composing a nice video, but yeah, just keeping that passion going through the pandemic, and trying to just make sure my skills don't get rusty.
Yeah.
And that opened up so many doors, and that's how I met great people like yourself, and and a number of other people that have been amazing and awesome to get to know and chat with over the past year now. So
yeah, well, it ties into what you're doing with your love for motorcycles and riding around and being able to go do some amazing pictures and videos and stuff like that in some of the most beautiful parts of the country up there where you are. So that really, it just makes sense that you would want to kind of tie those two things together. So I do have a question here from Toby. He says, if I wanted to get into graphic design, converting pictures into an animated works, can you recommend a good software that's non-Apple?
Pictures into, so like almost like I have a follow-up question for Toby.
Okay.
So like a GIF almost, like, are you trying to like convert like a some kind of picture into like a GIF, an animated GIF or something?
Maybe he's trying to think about like like you have a logo, and you can spread those different artifacts apart, so like you have them kind of like come together,
so like doing like a logo build
or something like that. Or
yeah,
perhaps, I don't know. It's Toby's question. So.
we're just making up your question for you, Toby.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple different options when it comes to if you want to. I mean, if you already have an existing logo or an existing graphic, there's a lot of like freelancers, like freelance, motion graphics designers, and I do a lot of motion graphics myself. They'd be happy to, take on something like that for you. And if you're like, hey, here's a logo, like I want you to like animate it. I mean, I don't think to my knowledge, there's not any like real good software that's out there that can do the complex animations like automatically.
Yeah.
It's still, that's something that has not been tapped into quite yet. I know there's some templates out there, but they only work so well. But if you want like a truly unique like animation or logo build, Yeah, there's some pretty talented freelancers out there that are more than happy to do that type of stuff. Where you can find them, I know locally there's some places in Columbus, but wherever you're from, you might have to dig a little deeper.
Well, I know
Perhaps
that
some art colleges or something.
I know a lot of people, especially when they're first starting out, go on Fiverr, which is
Yeah,
full of people who are just trying to make a few extra bucks and stuff like that. So
yeah. Fiverr's good for that. Yeah,
yeah,
I have a buddy that does that type of stuff on Fiverr.
yeah, my friend Steven, he's the one who designed my logo for me. He lives out in Delray Beach, Florida, and Toby, if you ever do need any work or anything, I can definitely recommend him. Stephen Plunk Designs. So hit him up and tell him I sent you, and he'll take care of you as well. So, but yeah, I've definitely I've messed around with a couple of things, and there's a learning curve there for sure. It
Yeah.
takes a lot.
Yeah, I work all in the Adobe suite of like creative products. So that's After Effects, Premiere, Illustrator, InDesign, all those. Photoshop, obviously. But yeah, all those programs are they're great and they're amazing. But yeah, it took me 4 years to learn those, and then
Yeah.
I've been building on those I've been building on those building blocks ever since. So
Oh yeah, you never stop learning for sure.
yeah, yeah,
It's just like with this editing software that I've been learning, going in and learning how to make videos and how to put things together, how to add graphics and music and sound effects and cut things a certain way and all this kind of stuff. And I've only been doing it for about 2 years now, but it's just there's always something that I have to go look up or look at a YouTube tutorial or like something like that,
yeah,
because you just have that certain
yeah,
idea in your head that you want to happen. So
yeah. That reminds me too. Tutorials, like, oh my gosh, there's so much. There's so
oh yeah.
much on the internet with tutorials, editing tutorials. You can, yeah, you can definitely skip college and just and just learn what you need, like editing wise. But it's I guess that's another live stream talking about the pros and cons of
Yeah.
college education and graphic and art design.
Hey man, I have a degree and I can't get a job doing jack shit. So, except for
you know,
bartending.
yeah,
All right. So, back to your photography.
yeah,
You just did Biker Babe Beth's 10K milestone. Congrats to
yeah,
her, by the way.
yeah,
So how did you meet her and start working with her? How did that whole relationship come about? I know that you guys, obviously, that you live in the same city, you're close to
yeah,
each other, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, if you want to talk about
yeah.
how you
No,
guys
yeah,
met.
definitely. Yeah, she was one of the first people that I connected with back when I was started doing my like moto vlogging and stuff like that.
Oh, hey, she's here in the chat.
Hey Beth, how are you?
Hey,
But yeah, she was one of the first people I connected with, and legitimately like one of the nicest people like you'll ever meet, like hands down ever. Just super sweet, super kind, always very positive, encouraging. Like, yeah, like I don't know. I'll just say this anyways, but when I started following her, I think on Instagram she only had like 300 followers, and then on her YouTube, I think she only had like maybe like 500 subscribers or something like that. So it was like very very early on in her own like moto vlogging
yeah,
experience, and I was just like, as soon as I saw some of her videos, I was like, yeah, she's gonna do well. She's
yeah,
gonna do very well, and sure enough, like she's doing great. Um, but yeah, so like we're just like, yeah, I mean, we live in the same city, and we're like, I think we met at a bike night one night, and we were like, yeah, we have to like collab and do something, and then we ended up riding out to the Mansfield prison, which is where they shot Shawshank Redemption. So little
oh,
fun
that's
fact.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah. So now it's like a museum, or not a museum, but they it's like they do tours through it and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
It's
And
like
they have
it's like Alcatraz.
Kind of like Alcatraz, and they have like different. Like, they do have like museum type exhibits and stuff in there, and so we are like, yeah, let's ride up there and like we can do like a vlog together. And I shot a bunch of photos with her, and her and her fiance Jeff are just amazing, like amazing people, like the two of them.
Oh
We
yeah,
had a great time.
I met them when I came
Yeah,
out and hung out with you, and it
yeah,
was I had such a good time when I was out there meeting you and her fiance. It was just
yeah,
it was a blast. So
yeah.
and then
No, we.
and then what's your friend's name? The Dark Star.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, James. Yeah,
James, yeah, he was super
yeah,
cool too. Like,
yeah.
what a nice dude. Especially,
My
him running back and forth with the smoke bombs, wearing himself
Yeah,
out.
my production assistant.
Yeah,
That's yeah. No, he was great.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so when yeah, so like that's kind of like the first time Beth and I like collaborated on something, and yeah, we've just been friends ever since. She's like the little sister I never knew I wanted. So so yeah, she's great. She's great.
No, that's awesome, man. I'm really glad that you guys were able to hook up and get all that stuff going because, obviously we're all a community and we're all in it together. So,
Yeah.
speaking of community, are there any future plans or projects with anybody you can talk about or anything or
I mean, there's a couple things kind of floating around.
yeah.
I know there's you know a couple of things that Beth and I talked about potentially working on that are in the. I don't know if they're like. I don't know if they're in the works or not. She's listening. She's probably like, "What the hell is he even talking about?" But there's a couple of things that we've kind of floated around, and there's a couple like abandoned locations. I'll just put it that way that we've talked about maybe exploring. Um, there's definitely some. I have on my Google Maps. I have about 70 abandoned locations across the U.S.
Oh
that
yeah,
I want
just
to.
saved.
Yep, yeah, that I want to hit up, and check out. So those are always potential. There's always potential there for some great photos.
Yeah.
Um, but I,
Well,
I
if you
will
have
say
any in
when
New
I
York, man, you let me know and I'll come right
yeah.
out.
Oh yeah. There that is one thing that I don't if anybody's interested in doing like any type of like urban exploring or abandoned exploration. You can do as much research as you possibly can online, but you never really know like what a place will be like until you actually get there.
Oh yeah.
Um, because when I went down to Louisville, I had maybe like 8 or 9 places saved to check out on my map, and only half of those turned out. The other half were either demolished or being turned into a brewery or being turned into a apartment complex. So,
Yeah.
if it's a cool old structure, it's a lot of people will see that and see dollar signs. So,
Oh, for
um,
sure.
they won't stay abandoned for long.
Well, the thing too is like you gotta think about the city as well
Yeah,
because if you tried to go to a space like out in Austin, I
yeah,
can guarantee you, 100% guarantee you that within 10 days of any place shutting down, it is already bought and started building out into a new spot
oh for
because
sure.
like the growth out there is just so fast and everything turns over so quickly that unfortunately you can't really find spots like that. That's why you don't really see a whole lot of that kind of stuff out there. But
Yeah,
yeah, you get out more into the rural areas and you will see stuff like that.
yeah. Yeah, this past shoot that I did this past weekend was at an abandoned school, and it was literally in a field in the middle of nowhere. This massive, like old elementary school. Um, which,
The one you just
yep,
posted about. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, which all the photos from that and the video and stuff, just it's amazing. It's great, but it's yeah, like you, there's a to give a good example. You got that school that's in the middle of nowhere. Like we literally could just walk into it. Like it's not boarded up. There's no anything. But there's also an abandoned school in the middle of like downtown Columbus that has like I've seen pictures from it, and it's like my white whale. Like I'd love to get in there and like and get some like good photos and good shots.
Yeah.
But that one is completely boarded up. They have motion detectors. They have like cops sitting outside. Like there's no way anybody's getting inside that place. So yeah, any of the cool abandoned spots are in the middle of nowhere, it seems like. So
Toby Northern says that next time you're in Louisville, let him know because he's in Elizabethtown, just 45 minutes south. So,
nice.
Yeah,
cool.
And I know you're probably going to be doing some good rides on that new bike. So
yeah, I definitely
have you got any like any bags or anything like that you've added to it or anything like?
Oh, that's another. I mean, it's not a long story, but it's another little story. Because of a lot of the supply chains and everything have kind of been disrupted. I have my side panniers ordered. They're going to be black and they're metal, and I have to get the casing for it too, or the frame, the holder unit, or whatever you want to call it.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I've ordered that, and those are back ordered. So I'm kind of just waiting on those because I have this awesome bike, but I don't have any any way of putting stuff in it for longer trips. So it's a little painful just not being able to do some of these longer rides just yet. But it's they're ordered. They're on their way. Man. Yeah. Yeah, sissy bar and an ADV bike. Yeah. What's even funnier? I was like, like you see these Harleys out here, these baggers with like speakers in the bags.
In the bags, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I wonder how long it'll be until someone does that to the Pan America. Puts speakers in an ADV bike, like in the bag. Like it's bound to happen.
You know what I've seen as a growing trend, which I never thought it would be, but I've seen people who are taking like Pelican cases and they are turning them into detachable side bags. And so
actually, I like how those look. Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting the side bag hardware, and then they're doing a custom, they're custom drilling and everything inside of the Pelican case so they can just stick on the side. And I've also seen Pelican cases turned into speaker boxes. So like you could literally do like just drill out and put a waterproof speaker like the ones that they use on boats and stuff right on the outside of it.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, you'd be set. You'd be ready to go, man.
I have a feeling I might experiment with that. Maybe that might be a project for next year. I'll roll up to a bike night with my Harley-Davidson ADV with speakers in the panniers.
With Shoot to Thrill from AC/DC blasting.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Talk about like the confusion. Yeah. I did take it to a bike night recently, and it was definitely the bell of the ball. Like everybody was all around it, and
I saw you got called an influencer, man.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's like you made it.
I know, like once you get called an influencer, like the world's your oyster, right?
That was at Faro, right? Faro Harley-Davidson. Was that the one?
Yeah, they have a bike night at Quaker Steak and Lube. I don't know if that's a chain that anyone would know, or if it's a national chain or not, but. So it's basically like a wing place. And
I thought it was a place you go get your oil changed.
It sounds like it. But no, you just get hot wings there.
Yeah. Okay.
But so and they have a big parking lot, and they have like special parking for bikes and stuff. That was actually the first time I met Jess, her two wheels.
Yeah, so I was gonna say I knew that you guys were all hanging out there.
Yeah. I've talked to her a couple of times, and we have some mutual friends outside of like motorcycling and stuff. But yeah, that was the first time I actually got a chance to chat with her in person. So
cool, man.
Again, another super nice person, just amazing.
Oh yeah, I met her at Get On Moto Fest, and she was very, very overwhelmed with everybody wanting to meet her and talk to her, but still so nice. Like. Took the time to talk to every single person, and unfortunately the video that I had with her got, obviously we all know what happened with that hard drive, but but
rest in peace.
Still very nice. Well, I still have it. It's still sitting in my closet. It turns on. It just doesn't it doesn't read it. So the stuff is still
it
there.
It doesn't hard drive. It's a hard drive that doesn't hard drive.
Stuff is still there. I just can't get to it, you know? It's like a clear safe with like $1 million in it that you just like, you can't crack.
It's like that crypto guy.
The guy who lost his thumb drive. Yeah.
Yeah, he lost his key to his
computer. Yeah.
Yeah, he has like millions of dollars of crypto just sitting there, you know.
Yeah, dude. It was, but yes, I digress. Jess, very, very nice. Did you see her new Road Glide that she got 2018?
Yeah. She's gonna turn into the Appaglide.
The Appaglide, yeah.
Which that's amazing. I hope that goes well. I hope she follows through with that. I got a feeling she will.
Oh, I 100% believe she will. But she got rid of the Scrambler, so now you can't go on any like off-road adventures with her, man.
You know what's funny? When her and I were talking, because I had the Pan America there, the seat height for that Scrambler is almost the same as the Pan America.
I believe it.
Yeah, because she hopped on it just to get a feel for it, and she was like, this seat height is not as high as I thought. Like, and it's deceptive how high you think it is, but it's not nearly as intimidating as typical like ADV bikes, and so fun fact.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, they obviously needed to, appeal to as many people as possible, so try to lower that up a little bit. I'm sure it would be better. Not everybody is 6'3", so
yeah.
Cool. So just real quick, I just got a few extra questions here. So
yeah, definitely.
We were talking about everything from photography to motorcycles, your graphic design, everything like that, wanting to travel across the country and see different places, everything. So like, who are three people who you feel have been like the most influential to this journey of all of that stuff, not just motorcycles or anything, but like anything that you feel motivates you, any person you feel is influential towards you?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's one guy, and he is also like a motorcycle rider and photography expert. His name's Chopsky. That's his Instagram name. I'm assuming it might not be his actual name, but
I mean, his parents could have hated him. You never know.
It's true. But he's
got that angst that makes just really good pictures.
Yeah. No, his photography is great. Like I love his photography. And yeah, he rides a Dyna. Like he's a motorcycle photographer. Harley-Davidson riding motorcycle photographers. Not many of us out there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, his work is amazing. I would definitely recommend like checking him out.
Ricky knows who he is.
Yeah, he's awesome. And
Ricky is also I don't know if you know Ricky Babramoto, but he's a photographer as well, very talented.
Oh, awesome
as well. So
yeah,
he has an Indian Scout. He's been learning how to ride around Southern California.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, Southern California. That's not bad riding location.
Yeah. Well, he's actually in the same city. I grew up in San Diego, and so he goes around and he takes pictures of like different kinds of stuff, whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know that. Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
No, yeah, that is one of the downsides of being in Ohio is the 4 to 6 month lull between riding. But then again,
yeah,
I know some older guys that scoff at the weather, the Ohio weather, and they ride year round. So
yeah,
but
I do that here. I ride year round as much as I possibly can. I ride. So
yeah,
I was riding in the snow. I took a celebratory ride for Christmas down through Times Square. So
that's awesome.
There was like 2.5 feet of snow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you made it.
Yeah. Barely, but we made it.
Yeah.
So Chopsky.
Yeah. Chopsy's great. He always has. I remember I saw a post that he had, and he literally summed up like in one of his posts, like it was an awesome photo, and then he like in the caption it was like, all I want to do is like ride motorcycles and take awesome pictures. I'm paraphrasing, but I was like,
Hell yeah,
yes,
man. Hell yeah.
same.
That's the freaking
So
goal right there. That's so
yeah.
awesome.
The other gentleman that I absolutely adore, and I love his photography, and he's doing some stuff that I eventually want to try and experiment with, and I feel like I will. But if you're able to look him up, but his name's Insta Dave W. He's strictly a photographer. He's in Canada somewhere. I don't know exactly where in Canada, but he does amazing photography. And what I like about him is he not only shows like his photos, but he'll show his process too, which is
Oh,
kind of
okay.
hard.
That's neat.
It's kind of hard to find. He has a TikTok. He has stuff on TikTok, and um, but yeah, I've chatted with him like a little bit just to pick his brain about different like photo techniques and stuff like that, and kind of just to see like what he was using, because he used a lot of fire, which I use smoke. I haven't gotten into the fire yet, but he told me about this rig that he built with like a Kevlar strap, and he lights it on fire, and he takes these like motion photos with the wand, like these long exposure photos, and like the fire's like waving and stuff. And yeah, he's just an amazing photographer. I'd definitely recommend like checking him out. Yeah, just great. Um, the other, it's not really a person, but it's an account that I follow called Moon Patrol. Um, Design wise and style wise, like it's like almost like they collage stuff together. It's very like old retro-y type design, and that's stuff that I've always loved, and it's always inspired me to like whenever I do any type of design work, that's what I like to like lean into a little bit with how I create things. So, well, yeah,
Cool, man. That's
yeah, man.
awesome.
Hopefully some other people can run with some of those and get inspired also.
Oh yeah. Well, inspiration is literally everywhere. It's just, you got to be able to dig into yourself and kind of know what you're looking for a little bit, but
Yeah,
also not know what you're looking for and allow yourself
yeah.
to be free and open to stuff.
Oh
It's
my gosh,
hard,
yeah.
but
Yeah, it's like it, once, and I think there's a lot of people that they get into like moto vlogging, or they get into like photography or anything, and all sorts of stuff with the goal to get followers or like be famous or whatever. And it's like that's not really what it should be about. It's about whatever inspires you, whatever makes you happy. you know Start doing it and just keep going,
yeah.
and whatever happens. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's
it's your own personal form of art, no matter what it is. Whether it's, I mean, obviously photography is a form of art, but people don't really realize that, video, even just vlogging
oh
or
yeah,
something like this, like a podcast or anything, is definitely 100% a form of art. It's a form of
hmm,
expression, and everybody has
oh
their
yeah,
own certain way of doing it and their own feeling, and it's just, it all depends on what you put into it, for sure. So.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and nobody wants to be a copycat or anything like that, but we all start out as,
Yeah.
a little bit of that. We kind of get we want to be like what we see, what has made us feel good and all this kind of stuff, and then you
Yeah,
kind of grow into your own self.
I used to. Yeah, I definitely feel that. Like I remember when I was in college, I had this thing about like, oh, I have to be like so original. I have to like um do. I had this pressure on me, this weird pressure on me to like create things that no one's ever seen, or like like be so different than anything that everyone else is doing. And then there's a book that a very short little book that I read. It was I think it was called like Artist Steal, like Good Artist Steal or something like that.
Okay.
Um, and it was like it was kind of saying like quit trying to like recreate the wheel, like almost
Yeah.
like it was like you like you could be like super different, super unique or whatever, but like more than likely someone else has already done it and they've already done it like that much better. So it's like when you come across someone that inspires you, like try to fold that into your other inspirations and like try to make it something unique. That's really the only way to, in my weird mind, to make something unique is like you see something that inspires you and you just add it. It's like a Lego
Oh
like a
yeah, for
Lego
sure.
set. Like you take
Yeah,
little
yeah,
building blocks and then from different sets, and then you create your own like weird construction out of it. But you're still like using different pieces from different inspirations. So
well, it's like the Simpsons theory, like it doesn't matter what joke you have, the Simpsons have already done it.
yeah.
It's
Exactly, yeah.
so you don't have to just because somebody else has done it doesn't mean you can't. It just is
Yeah,
like don't be verbatim.
yeah,
you
oh
know?
yeah. And honestly, like if you have like a really awesome moto vlogger or like a vlogger or photographer, anyone that inspires you, you can try your hardest to recreate something, and do it the way that they've done it, but 9 times out of 10 you're gonna making something unique to yourself. And
Right.
it'll be unique that to a point where it won't be like the what that other person made. So
And it almost comes subconsciously as well.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
as you're going through and you're putting your own spin on this thing, it just like grows and evolves and becomes, whatever this whole like I've made videos before where I as I was recording it was like, dude, people are gonna call me out. Like they're gonna totally be like, you're just copying this person and you sound like this and you say these jokes and da da da. And I've actually been on the Cena with Parker before where I've like said something and she's like, you gonna credit Shade Tree for that one because you sound like you sound just like him. And I'm like, I didn't mean to. Like, it just came out.
you got to tap into your pro wrestler a little bit to
Oh
get
yeah,
that going.
oh yeah. I mean, I definitely, I'm like, oh yeah, brother. I have that
Yep,
definite
yep.
taste to it. So, but as you go through and you edit it and you see and you go back and forth on the clips and stuff like that, and it's just it kind of grows and evolves, and you're like, it's really like, yeah, there are similarities, but there's a few differences enough to make it
Yeah,
obviously me,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that grows and
yeah.
becomes more and more apparent as your talent progresses. So
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and I kind of backed off on my YouTube channel a little bit because
yeah, I noticed you haven't uploaded in a little while.
yeah, like I just I was like I wanted to focus more on my photography and my like short format like videos and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And that's not really conducive to a YouTube channel. To like to a certain extent, like yeah,
It is
you
now.
can
Like those shorts right now are
yeah,
like they're
yeah,
popping off. So
they I've posted a couple of those, but yeah, like the long format videos, I'm just like, man, like I have much respect to you and everyone else who puts together long format videos, like because that's a lot of content.
it
That's
is,
a
and I
yeah,
try to tell people like whenever they're first starting out, it's not like I've been doing this forever or anything, but and I'm definitely no expert, but I have some people who are coming up to me and they're like, oh yeah, I want to do this and I'm not sure and all this stuff, whatever. I think my video's too long or whatever, and we're on like a big group chat with a bunch of smaller moto vloggers, and they're like, oh, is 25 minutes too long, is like, or I'm thinking about adding this and taking this away and da da da, and it's like, just have to, you got to feel it out, like,
yeah,
yeah, 25 minutes might be too long, but if it all works together, it's not,
yeah,
like
yeah,
sometimes maybe you cut it down to 15 minutes. Like I recorded for 3 hours the other day and I got 10 minutes of actual usable footage
yeah,
out of it,
yeah, yeah.
so
And I deal with that professionally. Is like
yeah.
you whatever makes a good video like that, and I know that's not that might be sacrilegious for some YouTubers, but it's like in in my opinion, and what I've seen, it's the length. It shouldn't matter. It's whatever makes a good video, and sometimes less is more. Um, but then again, with the current way YouTube's set up, the longer it is, the more likely it you can get different ads in there. There's this whole thing with the YouTube side, and I was like, man, that's a little daunting. Like, I don't think I have a and again, if anybody has a video that's over 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, totally fine. Like that's totally fine. I don't think any of my videos are over 10 minutes.
Well, as Ricky says too, is as somebody who does photography and YouTube, he can say that video editing is far more tedious.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even photography though, like you're sitting there and on like your camera, I'm sure you just have the button where you just press it and it just sits there and goes click, 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 and you're just consistently taking pictures.
Yeah.
You have to you have to go through all those. You have to be able to see everything. So you could have 1,000 pictures or whatever that you have to go through every single one, pick a few of them, and then go through and do any sort of post and anything like that on them. So.
Yeah. I've gotten pretty good at doing my edits and stuff, but it's not unheard of. Like the shoot that I did this past weekend, I probably had about 750 to 800 photos, and I had to go through all those. But I ended up pulling about 110 like really good usable photos out of that. But yeah, it takes some time. I've gotten good at it, but it still takes a couple hours. For me, it takes a couple hours.
As you go through and you start to learn kind of like how you want to do it. Like I think my first video that I edited took me 3 days to do, and it literally, like, if you go back and watch it, it is 30 minutes of garbage. But it was just like,
you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And it's learning how to do it and like going through the process and everything. And now I can do it in a couple hours. I could take 3 hours with a video and probably knock it down to about 15-20 minutes, and it would take me about 4 or 5 hours. You built that skill up, and it's paying off in dividends for sure. Yeah. Well, we're coming up to an hour right now, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. So Clint, where can our listeners connect with you, join you online?
Yeah, sure. I'm primarily on Instagram, some Ohio guy. On Instagram. I do have some stuff on TikTok. That's more of my just the stupid stuff that I do for fun. And you can see a little bit more of my ridiculous personality in my TikTok stuff. And
did you do like some behind the scenes stuff on there or anything, or?
Not totally. It's more or less just me being stupid. And I'm like, if I find something funny or it's my weird sense of humor, I'm like, I'll make a weird TikTok out of it. And
my brother is exactly the same way, so I totally get it.
So I treat my TikTok like I used to treat my Instagram stories, which my Instagram stories was just a bunch of random stuff, but now it's a little more focused. But yeah, so TikTok, some Ohio guy, YouTube, my YouTube channel, which I will be posting a longer video of the shoot that I did this past week. On my YouTube channel. I got some really good footage from that. I shot with a Sony FX3. I don't know if anyone knows cameras or anything. It's a Sony cinema camera, and some of the footage from that is just mind blowing. So
from what I saw, it was just like, it looked so cool. It was really cool.
Yeah. So imagine that, but
longer.
16 by 9, like widescreen, 4K. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So yeah, I'll be posting something shortly on my YouTube channel for that. But yeah, those are my outlets. So, and I have a website if you guys want to look at my some of my other photography and stuff that might not be on my Instagram. Just someohioguy.com.
Yeah, cool. And that link is in your Instagram bio as well too.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Awesome, man. Yeah, everybody please go follow Clints at Some Ohio Guy on all of the socials, everything like that. Thank you, man. I really, really appreciate you being here. It was a very fun-filled hour. Had a great time, and I think this went well.
Yeah. Oh no, I think it's an overwhelmingly successful live stream.
Yeah, we had a
I
good
think we set
time,
the
and
yeah the bar is set, sir.
I know it's going to be terrible from here on out. I do have next Tuesday, Swami, Two Wheels Down, who I don't know if you ever saw his videos, but I kind of took over this from him. He was doing lives every week with different guests, and he has gotten really, really busy. He lives in Ontario, Toronto, somewhere, I don't know, up in Canada.
Somewhere up north.
And he has gone back to work, and he is slammed, so he kind of backed off of the live videos. So I kind of was like, okay, well, I'm gonna come in and kind of do a couple lives and stuff like that with some people. So next Tuesday we'll have Swami on. He said he would love to join me and come in, the OG master of the lives, the YouTube lives. Ricky Bobber Moto and Motobike Mike will be on tomorrow at 8 o'clock Central, 6 p.m. Pacific on Motobike Mike's channel. So if you liked this one, please go over tomorrow, Wednesday the 14th, and watch them. I will be there in the chat, so you can come hang out with your boy, and it'll be a good time. Thank you so much for everybody for joining me on the very first live stream. If there's anybody you'd like to see come on, let me know. I'll see if they think I'm cool enough and want to come hang out with me for a little while. Please be sure to go like this video. If you're not already subbed, please go do so. Like I said, we're so close to that 400 mark, and I'd love to be able to, bump those numbers up a little bit. And like I said, everybody go follow Clint on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok at Some Ohio Guy. Go check out his website, someohioguy.com. And do you sell stickers?
I do. I sell stickers. I got stickers on there.
Go buy some stickers, man. Go buy some stickers from this guy. Support that Pan America payment that he's got to make now.
yeah, please. However many stickers, just buy them all, please.
I got some. They're sick. They're really cool. You got do you do the holographic ones? You sell the holographic ones?
Yeah,
awesome.
I have like foil print. I have like one that's two that are foil print, and one that's like a construction paper type print on it. It's all
okay.
Fun.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome, man. Everybody go follow the Whiskey Chaser YouTube. Go follow the Whiskey Chaser Instagram if you haven't already. Hopefully I'll be able to get the whole Twitch thing worked out. I'm not sure if people prefer watching on Twitch over YouTube or anything like that, but figured that it'd just be another venue for somebody to be able to go on and check it out. So follow that stuff, and thank you so much, and we'll see you later.
Peace, guys.